Hey, what's up, iCkEdMeL? Welcome back to the channel, and we're going to be talking about this bizarre, mysterious story where this woman has gone missing. Gabby Petito, she's 22 years old. She went on this trip, this cross-country trip with her boyfriend, Brian Laundrie. It was actually her fiance. They leave Florida, and they go to New York, Staten Island, Blue Point. This is where Gabby's mother lives. And first they were there and they were doing a graduation for one of Gabby's family members. And then July 2nd is when they started this cross-country trip. So we're going to get into the timeline, and we're going to start off with where the mother and father speak out at this press conference. And the weird thing about this whole story, just jumping a little bit, is that they go on this trip around the U.S. and this guy, the fiance, Brian Laundrie, he comes home back to Florida with the camper vehicle that, or whatever kind of RV type of vehicle that was. They were driving around the country. He comes back with the vehicle. She is nowhere to be found. Okay. Allegedly, from what I'm hearing from the news articles, he's uncooperative. He's hired a lawyer and nobody knows where Gabby Petito is. So we're going to start out with this press conference first, the mother and the father. So the mother's name is Nicole Schmidt. The father's name is Joseph Petito, and let's hear what they have to say, and then we'll get into the timeline and some of the other odds and bits and pieces of information.
Gabby's 22 years old. She's an absolutely beautiful soul inside and out. She's incredibly artistic, creative, loving, caring, free-spirited, just wonderful soul.
Just wanted to have fun on a nice cross-country road trip.
She enjoys life.
What type of daughter was she?
I'm sorry?
What type of daughter was she?
Typical. Pain in the ass. But we love her very much. We miss her. We want her home.
What did she look like? Just describe her, similar to the release, but what she looked like.
She's about 5'5", blue eyes, blonde hair. She typically wore very modest, casual outfits, t-shirts, shorts, sandals, flip-flops, things like that. She liked to have her hair in a ponytail and sunglasses. She's a beautiful girl.
What do you know about this guy who is refusing to cooperate with the police who were looking for her?
We're not
Can't
commenting
comment
on
on
that.
How did she meet him?
We're not commenting on that.
When how?
And I kind of wonder why. I don't know if it's legal reasons or they're just trying to be professional, but why not comment to this guy? Is it because there's a lawyer involved now? Or even how they met or what's going on, what's their situation?
Did you talk to her on the phone before she disappeared?
Frequently. At least 3 times a week. We would FaceTime, call, text frequently. She kept me updated on this whole trip.
Did it start to dwindle? Did her communication start to fade, or?
No, not until I received a text on the 30th. That was the last communication I had.
And you had doubts about that text, or?
I can't comment on that.
When she left, what did she say? Like, bye, Ma. See you soon. I'm excited. What was it like?
We hugged. We gave them some money to, if they needed it, because they're kids, They were excited about the trip. They left on July 2nd from New York.
What was the purpose of the trip? What did they leave? What were they wanting to do?
Camping, hiking, seeing the country.
When was she coming back? How long was the trip for?
The trip was supposed to end in October in Portland, Oregon.
And what was the last conversation you had with her on video chat? What did she say?
I believe it was around the 23rd or the 24th. I can't recall, but she was having a great time. She said she was headed up to Wyoming.
How long have they been dating?
We're not going to comment on any of that.
Can you talk about her hopes and dreams? Like you said, I think she was kind of artistic and full of life. And what did she want to become or do, or?
I think she was just the type of person that was free. She went and did what the day took her. She didn't have a plan. This was a plan, but what was next, we didn't know.
And she has a bunch of siblings from your side and her dad's side, right? Excuse me, 4 or 5? 5.
She has, yes. 5 siblings.
How are the kids holding on?
I think the younger ones aren't quite understanding, but her brother is, her two oldest brothers are, they're younger than her, but they're the older brothers, but they're not doing well.
Can you talk about what kind of sister she is?
They fought growing up, but they got closer as, like my son is 18, and they got very close. And they even went camping together before they left for this trip.
What message do you want us to get out? Like, why are we here? What do you want us to do?
Most importantly, we are looking for her. We are not focusing on anything else but finding her. And
If anybody just has any information,
Anything.
any information out there, anybody who's seen her, we just ask that they call the tip lines and just please give any information you have. We just want her home safe with us.
Is it possible that she would just choose not to be in contact for a while and just be enjoying the...
no, I know that. I believe a mother's instinct is the most powerful.
Do you think something bad has happened to her?
I don't know. I believe she's going to come home.
How did she sound on the last call that you had with her on the FaceTime? Did she sound happy? Was she sound like she was having fun?
Yes.
Why the long wait from August till now to report her missing? Was there a certain amount of time that you had to wait, or?
No, I believed the first couple of days when I wasn't getting responses, I believed she was in a place with no service. It was like day 8 and 9 that I really became concerned. I figured she couldn't be off the grid for that long.
Was she sending you text messages after the call, between the August call?
Yes, we had text-only conversations up to the 27th, and I only received a text from her on the 30th, which I had not responded to. It was just a text to me.
What was that one on the 30th?
I can't comment on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you pronounce her last name for us?
Sure, it's Petito, P-E-T-I-T-O.
Petito, thank you.
And there were reports that you didn't believe that the last texts were from her. What?
Not commenting on that.
Can't comment.
Why do you believe?
Yeah, I really wonder what those last texts were. I'm not going to interrupt too much, but there's been many times and stories that I've covered and that I even think of, that I've heard of, where sometimes it's not even the person that you think it is texting back. Somebody that used to call all the time, FaceTime all the time, then now they're missing. Things are kind of strange, and now you're just getting these text messages that don't even seem like or sound like the way this person normally texts.
She's in danger.
I don't know if I believe she's in danger for particular reasons. I just believe she's in danger because she's not in touch with us, and she could be alone somewhere. She could be stranded somewhere in the wilderness, and she needs help. And I hope that we're not out there, but I hope that everybody's looking for her. I hope that the hikers and the rangers and the campers and everybody has her face, and they're looking for her actively.
What about her traveling companions? They've not heard from either.
She's not going to talk about that.
So
You guys talk about the beginning of the trip when you guys first had heard about it, some of the conversations that you had with her, any concerns, excitement, what was the feeling and what were the conversations that were going on?
As a mom, I had concerns for my daughter going on a road trip in general, but I felt safe. They were together, they had a plan, they had an itinerary, and we were excited for them. Everybody wanted to do what they were doing.
No reservations about what they were doing, who was on the trip, any of that?
No, I knew it was just the two of them, and I felt perfectly comfortable with that.
Nicole, can you talk about what the past few days has been like for you?
It's hard to explain. I guess it's it's scary, and it's nerve-wracking, and we don't eat, we don't sleep. We're just actively looking for her, looking at tips. Did anybody see her somewhere? We just want to find her and bring her home.
Do you plan to go out west, and is that why you're raising money on the GoFundMe page?
It's a consideration to go out there, yes. We're looking into it.
Do you know what her last exchange was with her fiance, and how that was reported to you?
No, we do not.
So they were engaged.
We're not going to talk about that relationship at this time.
And that's another thing. That's why I was like boyfriend, fiance, because there's news articles saying fiance and people thought they were engaged, but now we don't know. And they're trying to get confirmation from the parents. And I guess they don't want to confirm that. So
Relevant, yeah.
Were they dating for a long time before they went on
A
the?
couple of years.
Couple of
About
years?
2.5 years.
Can you say how they met? Oh, you said.
Should I talk about how they developed?
If you want.
It's not a big deal. They knew each other in high school. They were friends. And the friendship rekindled and they started dating. And
He's local also.
So I guess they have either like a lawyer or somebody advising them.
no comment.
And how long has she been in Florida? Has she been living in Florida with her biological dad?
No, she moved to Florida to live with her boyfriend. Yeah.
About when?
I don't know the exact date. I'm going to say 2.5-ish years. I don't know the exact date.
So she moves to Florida to live with the boyfriend / fiance, whatever. And the father in the article that I read said that supposedly he moved to Florida to be closer to his daughter, and he's in Vero Beach.
Is there anything else you want to say?
I just want to reiterate that we're looking for her and only her. We're not looking for the van. We're not looking for the two of them. We're looking for just her. We need to find her and bring her home.
And Nicole, if she is watching this, I don't know, but you know, is there anything you would like to say directly to her?
Gabby, we just want you to come home. Call us, let us know you're okay. We just, come home, please.
I miss you.
So police went out to Brian's house. We're going to get into this timeline image in a bit. But they went to his house to try to speak with him. This is his father, okay? And his parents did not want to let the police speak to Brian. They also said that they didn't want to comment. And like I said previously, he hired an attorney. And so now they've taken the vehicle. Okay, they took the vehicle in the late night. It says forensic experts are now poring over the 2012 van for fingerprints and any other possible clues as to what happened. We have the vehicle. We took it away very late Saturday night into Sunday. We take it, we process it for evidence, fingerprints, and evidentiary value that we think is possible. So we have that vehicle. We're continuing to try to piece the things together. The situation is obviously very fluid. So I want to share some of this as well. Nancy Grace apparently commented on the story. Let's check it out.
Good morning. I'm very disturbed about the whereabouts of this 22-year-old girl, Gabby Petito. Gabrielle is her name. She took off from New York around June 17. She had gone to New York from Florida to see her little brother's high school graduation. From there, she and her boyfriend / fiance, I've gotten different reports on that, Brian Laundrie, head out on a dream trip, crossing the country in a converted Ford van. I've looked inside at the photos and the videos. She posted videos along the way, kind of a travel blog, and they really worked hard. The neighbors tell us that they saw them out in the driveway where they live down in Florida, working, converting it into basically a camper. This is where it all goes wrong. The mom, Gabby's mom, talks to her toward the end of August. They FaceTime about 3 times a week, which is very important. It's critical. We know how often they speak. Then she gets a text. That was around August 25. They had checked out of a hotel in Salt Lake City due to the fires. We know they checked out because the hotel confirms it. She was alive then. The mother says that she gets texts around Aug 27 and Aug 30, but she doesn't know if those texts were really from Gabrielle. That concerns me. There's something called behavioral evidence. In other words, do you write a whole paragraph when you text? Do you abbreviate? Do you use emoji? It's your lexicon, your vernacular, how you speak. Was it Gabby? Because if it wasn't Gabby, that is the date the timeline starts. From there, I would go back and triangulate the cell phone on that day to find out where they were. End of the story. the boyfriend drives all the way back home to Florida and parks the van in his parents' driveway, but without Gabby. That's what we know.
And he's not talking, and he hired a lawyer, right?
Yes, and I would think he would be front and center out there looking for Gabby and giving the story of what happened. Did they have a fight and she stormed off? Did he leave her somewhere? Did she refuse to go any further for some reason? If you look at the travel blog, the video blog, which I have very carefully, he says very little in it, but he's there, and she's very happy. You see no sign of discord. But what does that tell me? Not much. If you look at anybody's Facebook, everybody looks happy.
Right.
So that really doesn't tell me too much. But I would immediately go back to that location if the texts are not from her, based on mom and behavioral evidence, triangulate the location, and then backtrack. I would find every hotel, every ATM movement, every credit card, and then start looking for witnesses.
So I wanted to show you guys this timeline map that I saw on the Daily Mail. And I think what I'll do is I'll start with the left, places they visited. July 5th, Monument Rocks. July 8th, Colorado Rocks. July 10th, Grand Sand Dunes National Park. July 16th, Zion National Park. July 20th, Cedar Breaks. July 21st, Bryce Canyon National Park. July 26th, Mystic Hot Springs. July 30th, Canyonlands National Park, Mesa Arc. August 12th, Arcs National Park. August 13th, Moab, Utah. August 24th, checked out of a hotel with fiance in Salt Lake City. And August 25th, final call to family telling them she was in Grand Teton National Park. So they marked here this numerical. I guess these are maybe the key points. And the start of the journey was July 2nd from New York. This was after they traveled from Florida to New York. Then number 2 is listed as July 5th, stopped at Kansas Monument Rocks. Number 3 is road trip tour of Colorado and Utah. Okay. Number 4 is August 24th, Petito last seen at Salt Lake City Hotel with fiance. Number 5, August 25th, final call to family saying she was in Grand Teton National Park. It's right here in Wyoming. And number 6, pair planned Yellowstone trip, but Petito never made it. The thing with these two either being engaged or married, this is the post here on Instagram where it says, my biggest fear is that one day I'll wake up and it will have all been a dream, because that is what every second has felt like since the moment we found each other. Till death do us part or until I wake up. I'm so happy the answer was yes. Love you, honey. On their Instagram, you can see a lot of different posts. You know, so this, for example, was from Moab, Utah. You can see kind of them journeying their way through. I'm sure the web sleuths are going to dig through all this stuff if they haven't done so already. This is, I believe, Gabby's Instagram. And so you can see pictures of her. And this is like the camper vehicle and on their trip. And you can just kind of go down along the way and see. So a couple of my thoughts, and then I am going to do an update with Farrah Carter, the video that I posted earlier. There's been some updates to release the guy's name. The family states allegedly that they don't even know this guy. Really interesting and bizarre. I'll put the links down below if you haven't seen the Farrah Carter story. There was more information that came out about that. So later today, things are kind of picking up on the channel. So I'd appreciate if you guys hit like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, get me going. I'd appreciate that. Now with Gabby. Okay, this is weird. It's a super weird, bizarre story. You see these pictures online, and like Nancy Grace said, which I think she made a great example, and her commentary I think was on point with this, is that what you see online is not everything. Obviously, a lot of time you see these perfect pictures of people having such an amazing time. Everything seems perfect, and there's people out there, and a lot of times young, impressionable people, kids or teenagers, they're seeing that and they're envious and, oh man, I wish I had that life. And, oh, I wish. Some people really put themselves down, and some people could really be having the worst time in their lives, but you see this picture perfect thing. And I get it. I mean, who's really going to post a bunch of negative stuff? And it looks like she has a decent following. She has 20,000, almost 20,000 followers. I don't know how much of that was after she went missing and before she went missing. And the thing with this guy, it's weird because if they're so loving, and this is, to till death do us part, and I love you so much, and I can't live without you, and every waking moment, every second is just amazing. One day I hope I wake up from well, not hope, one day maybe this will all be a dream, maybe whatever, like all this stuff. And I'm sure there's more, a whole bunch that I didn't see. And this woman goes missing, and you're just like, oh, well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to stay quiet. I'm going to lawyer up. I'm not going to speak to police. I'm not going to help them out. What kind of person is that you claim to be in love with this person, that this is the love of your life, and yeah, I'm glad, all this stuff, and you have nothing to say? And in the video that I didn't even watch the full video. There's only one video on their YouTube channel that I saw, but he's just kind of in the background, like Nancy said, and she's pretty much doing the talking, but they look fine. But like she said, it doesn't tell you anything. You know, it really doesn't tell you nothing. It's just super strange. And here's the other thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys, just another thought. In Tibet, it amazes me how some of these stories get so much attention. I mean, there's news, there's press conferences, everybody's posting it, Daily Mail. This story is definitely in the process of blowing up. This doesn't happen for a lot of other stories, especially a lot of the stories that I cover on this channel. You know, we do a mix, we do some of the popular ones, and I love to do unpopular stories that aren't getting attention, if I can even go meet people in person. But it's amazing because you think of like even Shateria Waits that I covered recently that really didn't get that much attention. And Quanell X, as much as people might not like him, and I've had my differences of opinion on him, he brought attention to a woman that was getting no attention at all, in my opinion, no attention at all. Even still to this day, I don't know how many channels covered it or not, or how many people covered it or not. I believe I was one of the few people that were covering that story. So it's amazing to me sometimes when you see stories like this, that's like national media attention. I don't know if it's because there's a story behind it that makes it maybe more gripping and interesting for people to tune in, because this whole trip thing where they go on this wonderful magical trip where they're documenting everything, and this guy comes back home alone and the vehicle's in his place. You know, so stay tuned for the other video. I kind of want to wait a little bit to see if more comes out from Farrah Carter, because the news clip only showed clips. They didn't show the actual full press conference. I would love to see the full press conference. All right, so comment down below. Take care of yourselves. Appreciate all the support. Peace.